Good morning, and welcome to the Marketing That Grows Your Business show. Today, we're going to be talking about a big topic, something that I see happening in the online course space in particular. Those that are aware of the growth of the new trends are always ahead of the game versus not being in the know and continuing to struggle with an old strategy or an old methodology, an old system. I call it a vehicle because really that's what it is. It's a vehicle to the revenue. So that's what we're going to be talking about today. Not only talking about this shift that is happening in the space, but how you more specifically can take advantage of it, what it looks like on your side of the fence. So as you guys are coming in, just give me a shout out. Where in the world are you this morning? Um, and just giving you a little bit of background on where I'm at today. As many of you guys know, we sold our house in Tampa, went taking care of my dad in Virginia, but I'm back in Tampa this week. I'm staying with my youngest son, which I've never done before. We were just talking about this. It's like he's had his own place a couple of times, but he was always local. So we had our own place, right? So there was never any need to really stay with him at his house. But now we're like at his house, and it's kind of fun. It's unusual. I've been having fun with this chair. So this is a gaming chair. So I'm like, I could be Batman. All right, enough of my foolishness. Um, so as in all of our shows, or all of my shows rather, we do giveaways. Today's no different. We're going to do a couple of different giveaways. I don't think we've done these two specific giveaways before. The first one is what I call the bubble mug. It's super cute. Like if you are the winner of this particular mug, you are going to love it. It's super cute, bright. It's got all kinds of little call outs on it. So that's giveaway number one. And giveaway number two is it's just a journal essentially. It's if you take notes and you love the little journals, that spiral journals that have cute sayings on them, this one is for you. So embrace the journey, trust your heart, and follow. I can't quite read it. Anyway, but that's terrible. My eyesight is so bad. But how do you win? Before I tell you how to win, I just want to give a few shout outs. Hey, Vicki, good morning. Thank you. I'm not quite sure I like it, but this white light behind me kind of whites me out. But anyway, we'll see. Time will tell. You kind of get stuck in the same old rut sometimes. We have Paul in the house. I'm sorry, Andre. Paul, for some reason, I keyed in on your middle name. Glad to see you, Paul. I'm glad you're here. We have Lisa. Good morning, Lisa. I'm so glad you're here. Excellent. So we have Rhonda. Good morning, Rhonda. Rhonda Jordan is in the house yeah, you're over here on Facebook. Well, and Paul, I'm so excited to see you. I love having you here every week. Um, Thank you, thank you, thank you. So, all right. So keeping on track here so I don't get sidelined too awful much. Um, Let me go back and get that one thing taken off real quick. There we go. All right, now, so the three ways to win, you guys, are share your aha moments in the comments. So that means if you hear something that you're like, I didn't know that, or two, you know it, but you needed to hear it because that happens quite a bit, right? Just drop those hashtag aha moments and use the hashtag aha so that you can be entered into the wheel. That's what we call it, the wheel of wow. And the more times you comment, the more times you have a chance to win. I'm just saying. So sprinkle it out into the world is the second way that you can win, or tag someone that you know maybe has a course or wants a course and they're struggling to sell it, because this is going to be amazing news and knowledge for that person. And then ask questions. We love, love, love the questions, and we will definitely answer all of them that we can, either live while we're with you guys, or afterwards we'll circle back if we missed a question somewhere along the way. And if you don't want to take notes, we're going to cover down on that for you. So if you want show notes, all you have to do is drop in notes down under, and we'll make sure you get notes for today's show. That way you can just set and absorb and you don't have to stress over making notes. We have Chuck in the house. Good morning, Chuck. So glad to see you. Allison is here from Oregon. Thanks for the tag, Lisa. We have Carolyn from Destin. Good morning. So yeah, I'm back in Tampa this morning. It's super hot. I can't say I've really missed the mugginess of Tampa, but it is nice to be here with both my boys are here. So good morning, Marie. I'm so glad you're here. And then, like I say, Rhonda's reminded us, got questions, drop them in. And I think we've got Evelyn. Let's see. I saw Evelyn somewhere. All right. Anyway, so let's get going, you guys. I'm going to share my screen. I know today is a little bit different because we usually have guests, but today I've been trying to mix it up a little bit, do some guests, and then some of you have been very complimentary. Thank you for that, for the times that I do trainings. And they're really more about conversation slash training. I want you to walk away with something you can use. But it's also about empowering you with something that, in this particular case, I see happening in the space. So I'm going to pull up my screen here. And really it's about today, it's a two overlaying messages, I guess, is, turning your expertise into a high ticket program. But it's really more about the shift that's taking, because usually when you talk about selling your knowledge, the first thought comes to mind is, you're either consulting or you are selling a course of some sort, right? So in this case, I really wanted to talk about both in the context of where I see the shifts happening. So I have been in the online business space for wow, over 30 years now. And my oldest son was born, and I kind of started me down this road. So it's been a long time. And one of my superpowers, if you will, has been just being able to see the shifts that are coming. Where are the changes, and how do we as marketers take advantage of those things? So this is definitely one of those times when I see a massive shift happening. And we all know this. I mean, online learning is booming, and this really escalated quickly during the COVID time. Just because there were so many people at home, they were searching for content, they were searching for knowledge. And as a byproduct, on the flip side of that, there was a lot of people who all of a sudden had no steady job anymore. The things that they thought were secure in their lives, that wasn't the case anymore. And they were searching for ways that they could package what they know and sell it. So there's two sides of this equation where there's a lot of people out there trying to leverage the power of the online learning space. And then there's a lot of people trying to break into it on the other side of the fence. And most likely that's probably you. As a business owner, you're probably like, how can I benefit from this? This is absolutely a phenomenon. And this genie is not going back in the bottle. It's definitely out there to stay. In fact, the predictions are that it is going to grow to like 370 billion from a value proposition, a monetary proposition, maybe is a better way of saying it, by 2026. And, these numbers, I think, like I said, are probably going to be escalated. There was I saw some graphs that said that COVID escalated the projection of certain income outcomes by 2 to 3 years. And if you think about it, it makes sense, because again, there was such an influx of new people into the space. But why, if that's true, everything I just said, and we know it is, and we know that the space is growing, but why are there still so many people struggling to sell their courses, those that have them already? Or for those of you who are thinking about having a course, you're like, well, if there are people out there struggling to sell their stuff, then do I want to get into that? Well, the short answer would be no, because who needs more struggle, right? So why are they really struggling? If there's so much demand for online learning and online courses, then why in the world are so many people still struggling? Um, and in some cases, their courses aren't profitable. That's a huge struggle for them, or they are burning both ends to the middle, trying to make those, whatever it is that they have work for them. Or this is the biggie, and this is the one that I see most frequently. And as an online educator, this, like, I don't know, it drives me crazy because I see so many people who have amazing knowledge, amazing systems, amazing things that they can put out into the world, but they've structured it in such a way that their students lose interest or they don't get the results that they promised them. So, and this is probably, like I say, this is what I call the DIY type of courses, where I call them figure it out yourself courses, because somebody buys a course from us, and I've been a part of this problem because I've sold standalone courses before, and knowing that, and this has been very prevalent, and I, in fact, just y'all raise your hands if you've been one of these people who bought a course and you had every intention of going through the course, you just didn't do it, or you didn't feel like you were supported in the endeavor, so you didn't do it. Whatever the reason is, we all make excuses for it. But the reality of it is that most of the time, and I've seen this over and over again, if I sell a course to 100 people, a handful, a small percentage of them are going to get the results, which means that I've left the majority of them behind. And I've done them a disservice, sold them something they didn't get a result from. And one could say, well, that's not my fault. Or in your case, if you have a course, you may say, well, that's not my fault. They bought the thing. It's up to them. It's their responsibility to figure out how to get the result from it. But this is why there's a shift. This is why there is a problem in the space and why the market is adjusting to fix the problem. Okay. And this is true. I've seen this. I've heard this from big course creators. Their sales are crumbling. The things that they've done in the past to get sales for their DIY courses are no longer working. And why? It's really because us and I lump myself into this same bucket, even though I'm a course creator, a knowledge. I love sharing my knowledge and teaching other people how to do things. But I'm still a consumer. You're a consumer. Even if you are a course creator, you still buy the things. You're still looking for knowledge, right? So why are we not as willing to step into those purchases anymore? So I want you to think about that for a second. It's because we've done it and we haven't gotten the result, all right? Let's just be totally clear on that. But again, how can we have so much more demand for our knowledge and online courses is across the board, and then there's still people struggling to sell their knowledge? Why is that? It's almost like a contradiction. If there's so much demand, then why are course sales not going through the roof? I think it's because, for the most part, course creators have lost their way. They forgot what the promise of an online course really means. And I'm going to dig into this just a little bit more in a second, okay? But because there's so much of a gap, and I love gaps in marketing because that creates opportunity. But there's such a big gap right now, huge demand, but the sales are not lining up with the demand, or more specifically, the outcome of people wanting certain things. So this creates an opportunity for us. So if you're an expert, and I say this across the board, I feel like that if you're a coach, you're a consultant, if you are a service provider, whatever, however you self-identify. In fact, let me know who are you? How do you self-identify? If you're telling people, I'm, fill in the blank. What are you? Are you an author? Are you a speaker? Are you a coach? I'd love to just drop it down under and let me know who you are. But at the root of it, you all have an expertise. You all have a level of knowledge that you use to support whatever you self-identify as. If you're a coach, you have a level of expertise that you share. If you are a trainer, like Chuck, for example, well, he has a level of expertise that he is sharing. Alice says she's a marketer. Again, a level of expertise, right? Here's one, a marketing and business development advisor. Huge expertise. Again, Maria says she's a teacher and a coach. Again, expertise is at the big umbrella across all of it. So if you have a level of expertise, then there is great opportunity for you. And you probably heard these sayings before, like things like, yeah, you can make more money online, or, live the life you deserve. And sometimes these go with the promises of the transformation, right? Or you're the role model people are waiting for, or the world needs your special gift. The reality is, all those things are true. None of these are new. You've probably heard them all. Um, but this is the fascinating part, and this is what I would really want you to key in on, maybe focus on, if you will. But the things that have traditionally worked are broken, and the digital landscape around this space is rapidly changing. I'm not the only one talking about it. Now, if I bring it to your awareness, now you'll see it everywhere. You'll be like, oh my gosh, Kim said that this was changing, and then you'll see somebody else saying the same thing, because it's true. The space is changing, and we can no longer get in the broken down car. We have to change our model in order to adjust to this. So if you have an existing course, or you want to have an existing course, or I call it a high ticket course, aka high ticket program, then you gotta get out of the broken down model and get into the new. I guess we can call it a hybrid model, if you will. People call it different things, but the hybrid goes with the car analogy, I guess. So let's go with that. So, is it really possible to consistently earn, like, this sounds like a big number. So when I throw big numbers out like this, most people are like, yeah, like, right, $100,000 a month. Yeah, that's not doable. But what if you could make, let's just say, let's start out maybe a little bit smaller, even $10,000 a month, selling what you know consistently. Or, if you can sell it for 10K a month, then you can scale that to 20. You can scale that once you figure out your process and your system. You can scale it to, yes, you can, $100,000 a month. So it's absolutely possible. And um, when it comes to really embracing this and understanding that what you know people need and they will pay for, as long as you put it in front of the right people. So one of the things I hear quite frequently is, well, people won't pay that. But yet, that's because you're probably trying to sell it to the wrong people. You can build a highly profitable online course program around your unique expertise, the things that you know, the things that you've experienced, the processes that you put in place. Whatever your thing is, you can absolutely build your business around something that is going to pay you your worth instead of selling it for pennies, which is what we've traditionally done with our knowledge. We've devalued it. But I'm going to show you a better way, okay? So, what you're going to learn today is some of the mistakes that we make and need to avoid. How to use you to identify what your unique expertise is, and then evergreen ways to sell more and stop the stinking hustle. I mean, we are going 50 ways to Sunday most days, and there is a better way. Let me just tell you. And then how to generate new leads and scale on autopilot without spending a dime on ads. Can somebody say, what? Wouldn't that be amazing, right? Well, the good news is you can, all those things. So let's talk about some of the mistakes that I see people that are trying to sell their knowledge and what they should avoid. Most of the time, I see people making massive claims that don't have a singular transformation. So they feel like they have to make this, if they're going to charge a high ticket price for something, they're like, I got to put everything I know into this, like kitchen sink. through all the worksheets and the checklists and the systems and the fill in the blank. Got to put it all in there. And it's overwhelming to your person. They log in, and how many of you guys have done this? I've done this, so I'll just share my story real quick. I've logged in to a course that I purchased. I spent 2K for it. Logged in, and it was like all these modules, all these deliverables, all these worksheets. I mean, I'm like, I don't even have time to do what I'm doing now, much less all this. Like, how many of you have done that? And you, in your head, even though you're like, I just spent $2,000 on this, I got to do it. But every day when you get ready to log back in, you make an excuse not to do it because it's going to take too much time. It's like, yep, I got to do this stuff over here. And therefore, and forthwith, you don't do it, right? Can I get an amen? Like, seriously, it happens to all of us. And if we are on the other end of that, as a course creator or sharing our knowledge, trying to help people affect a change, then we need to be aware of this. So stop trying to put everything you know into one course. Um, the second thing is aiming for perfection over profit and proof. So I'm guilty of this one too. I want everything to be super perfect. I want people to log in, get that wow factor, or if you call it a thud factor or whatever. But I've realized that it's too much. And most people don't know it's not perfect to begin with. Only I am the one that's like, oh my gosh, look, that slide has a boo-boo on it, a misspelling. Stop worrying about all the little things. Focus on how you're going to generate revenue with it. And then, more importantly, and this is the huge part, how are you going to get the transformation so you have proof that whatever it is you're teaching works? Like, right? Like, you got to get an outcome for your student, or you have no proof, which means that you're going to sell less and less of your thing because people quickly figure out that your thing doesn't work. So this is a powerful, powerful understanding when you realize that maybe own it. Like I said, I've been guilty of this myself. Um, Another thing that I see happen, and I've done this one too, so I'm just owning all the mistakes I've made, and then mistakes I see quite frequently in the space, is creating you as the expert. You think, I know what people need. I'm going to create this amazing course. People are going to love it. So you create the course before you validate the idea. So one time I did this, and this is when I realized that you have to sell what people want, even if it's the shiny object, and then you give them what they need. So do not ever create a course, spend all that time and energy creating it if you haven't figured out if your person wants it. You're going to waste a lot of time and energy and ultimately come out on the other side with nothing no one is going to purchase. Boo. Nobody wants that, right? And then this is probably the biggie, undercharging the value of the course. So, and this is one of the things I see happening. It's a part of what's happening in the space right now. So traditionally courses have run from, low ticket knowledge, TIG courses, if you will, to like even as low as 37 to 97 to 297 to 597, a wide range of prices. And then you get to what a lot of people have traditionally called high ticket courses or signature courses, maybe is a better way of saying it. And those are in like the 997 range to the $2,000 price point. But I want you guys as experts to think about this. When you have an expertise, how did you get it? How did you get it? Did you go to school for it? Which meant more than likely you had to pay a lot of money at a traditional school, if you went to college to get it. Or did you spend time amassing this, like figuring it out on your own? Wow, how much is that worth? Um, how did you get the knowledge that you have today? Usually, if it's experience, it's a lot of time, trial, effort, failure, and yet you're going to take all that and roll it into 5 modules and sell it for, $297? Really? Yeah, I see it all the time. So this is where, and then this is the worst part. You have devalued what you know, and you're giving that knowledge to somebody and say, go figure it out on your own. And they're not figuring it out on their own. So undercharging the value of not only the course, but your time, experience, and knowledge is super, super valuable. But this is the biggest mistake of all. And I'm going to spend a little bit of time talking about this. We think that our information, the knowledge that we have, is really what people buy and what they want. Let's just overwhelm them with all the things. It's not what people want. People don't buy a course for information, they buy a course for the transformation. So if you say to someone, hey, I'm a weight loss coach and I can help you lose, 10 pounds in the next 30 days. They don't care necessarily that you're a weight loss coach. They care that you can help them lose 10 pounds in the next 30 days. So, focus on the transformation. And most people who are selling something don't do this. And this is true whether it is whether it is a course or whether it's a product or a service that we have. People buy things because of where they are at point A, and then where they're going to be at point B after they experience your thing. Like, if it's a product, obviously it's a product, but it's really about that transformation. What is it that they want? Why do they want it in some cases? Um, I want to go back to what I said earlier, where I feel like as course creators, a lot of people have lost their way. They forgot what the promise of an online course really means. And this is what I'm going to break it down for you. Take screenshots if you need to. Understand that you're going to get notes if you commented in down under and said notes. But this is where the road meets the rubber when it comes to our buyers. They buy our knowledge, our online course, or our program to get a shortcut to the transformation. So, if you're like a weight loss coach and you say, I'm going to help you lose 10 pounds in the next 30 days. Well, that denotes a shortcut. They're like, wow, I am going to lose weight in 30 days. I want that. Again, they want the transformation in a short period of time at a lower cost in some cases, and with less risk of failure than if they try to figure it out themselves. So again, weight loss coach, 10 pounds, 30 days. Um, that is, and I'm going to have help. I'm not going to be at this all on my own. Big, big difference. So I'm going to talk about this real quick from the perspective of who this is for and who it's not for. So if at this point you're like, okay, this is me, I need to hang in there, then this is going to be super valuable for you. If it's not for you, then it's okay. You're not going to hurt my feelings a bit. But if you are an expert, somebody who has knowledge, systems, a process, who is tired of the constant hustle, and I was in this place about probably a year ago. I'm like, I am tired of chasing the latest and greatest tactic, because that's really all it was. I need to get back to a principle-based business model. So if you're tired of the constant hustle, all the latest and greatest shiny social media shiny objects, then you're in the right place. If you would like to have a consistent and predictable monthly revenue flow, wouldn't that be nice? Like, right? Um, and if you're done with all the stuff, social media posting, I know this is someone considered a social media expert saying, wouldn't it be nice if you didn't have to stress over all that stuff? Yeah, it would, wouldn't it? And then, of course, you really do. Like a lot of us are driven by how do we make a positive impact on our communities or prospective communities, people that we want to help? How do we do that? So if this resonates with you, then you're in the right place. But this training is not for you if you are a learner and not a doer. Now, there's a lot of people out there that feel like I got to learn it, I got to be perfect, before they take any action. This is about doing it messy. So if you're not comfortable with that, this might not be for you. If you are looking for the latest and greatest shiny object, quick fix strategy, this isn't for you. Or if you think the low ticket course is going to bring you massive success, you're probably going to struggle with that. Or if you think you have all the answers. I'm personally of the opinion we never have all the answers. We can always learn something new. Um, my goal, though, with this training really is to help advance experts with when I say strategy, I use the term strategy kind of loosely. It's more about principle-based marketing and tools to share their unique expertise and build what I would call a legacy business. Really being known for something specific. And we all have expertise. We could all be top of mind when somebody says, I'm looking for, somebody else would say, oh, you need to talk too. That is you. That should be you, but you haven't gotten the right model in place yet, potentially, in order to build that legacy business. So let's talk about how to turn that knowledge into a high ticket program. We heard the saying over and over and over again, the riches are in the niches. And, I used to say that, well, maybe it isn't. When I first started with social media, I was like, okay, well, there's so many people, everybody needs social media. So I'll just be a generalist. And that has bit me in the behind so many times that I can't even tell you how many times. So there is huge value in really narrowing down. It's not always about the person that you serve. It's about the transformation. So when I say the riches are in the niches, it's more about narrowing down the transformation that you offer. And it really starts within ourselves as educators, because when it comes to understanding how we can show up and help somebody else, it usually comes from a place of our own experience. So it could be like challenges you've overcome in your business or your life. It could be big obstacles that you've faced and overcome. It could be life and career expertise. It could be important experiences. It could be struggles that we've had and we've solved. It can be any of those things, actually. I've often said that our person, generally speaking, not always, but generally speaking, is usually a previous version of ourselves. So, like lots of times, we create solutions within our business that we can sell. Did you hear what I said? Yeah, we create solutions in our business to solve a problem that we have, and that's a process that somebody else would love to know and would pay for. So think about this for a second. The transformations that you've created for yourself, again, those solutions that we come up with in our businesses is where perhaps your best online course idea could begin. In some cases they're systems based. Sometimes they're, just again, I'll give you a great example. One of my current students was in a wheelchair, and I told her she wouldn't live much longer. She would never come out of that wheelchair. And she's like, I'm not accepting that as fact. And she went on to dig deep. She developed a process for herself. She lost 80 pounds. Came out of that environment that she found herself in, developed a system for getting herself out of that place that she found herself, and now she teaches other people. Talk about the impact that she has had. It is incredible. So that again is a struggle she found herself in. She created a solution, and now she sells that solution so that other people don't have to go through that process. People need what you know. People are willing to pay for what you know. So when you create a course based on your unique experience and transformation, it makes it uncopyable because it's coming from a place of authenticity. It's coming from a unique value proposition that is only your story. Doesn't mean that other people don't have similar processes or similar ways of doing things. It just makes your process, your individual perspective totally unique to you. And I don't think a lot of us think of it in that light. So basically what you're trying to affect here when it comes to your transformation is I went from that A place, that I call it the zero place, to B place where, you're in a better place so that I could, fill in the blanks for you. I went from this place to that place so that. And what was the outcome? Because people want the outcome at the end of the day. So, or you could say, and this is a simpler way to say the same thing. I help blank to blank so that, right? So the reality is the zero place, a place where they are, who or where they currently are, your process, your story, your unique experience, that's what you pour into your course so that they can get to where they desire to be. Okay? So let me give you a couple of examples of how you use this. I help, fill in the blank is, I help web design experts to sell digital products online so that they can stop trading time for money. So see how that's a transformational statement. That if I'm a web design expert who's selling time for money, and I'm like, wow, I could sell digital products and I could get my life back. I don't have to trade my time for money anymore. Yeah, I want that. Or, I help athletes go from being stuck after their athletic career is over to finding passion and purpose so that they can achieve fulfillment beyond the game. See, that's a transformational statement. Or I help experts to create, build, and scale their high ticket programs so that they can make a bigger impact, get their time and life back, and continue building their digital legacy. Now, that's what I would call a little bit of a longer form um, transformational statement. So I've skinnied mine up to I help experts to create, build, and scale their high ticket program without ad spend. Boom. It's very simple, right? But it's I help fill in the blank to whatever it is that you are helping them with without or because of or whatever it is that they're going to not have to stress over on the other side of the process or whatever they're going to achieve on the other side of your process. And then the next thing is simplifying how you teach it or how you present it to your person. It's when it comes to dumping all the things in or even as entrepreneurs, you guys know this is a fact. This is not necessarily, it's not something I'm just pulling out of my hat. When we are busy all day doesn't necessarily mean we're being productive. So doing everything gets where fast. So and the same when it comes to creating our courses. If we're just creating busy work for the sake of getting our students to do something, right? As simple is more is always better. There's that old kiss, keep it simple, silly. I hate the other word, so I always use silly. So building a simple but scalable business, you want to validate your buyers so that you get the dreamy client signing up, right? Who doesn't want that, right? You want systems in place that save you time and avoid all the guesswork. You want to know what to do, and that's it. I don't need all the extraneous stuff. Just tell me in a step-by-step way, what do I need to do to get the outcome? And then get rid of all the unnecessary process that keep you from focusing on what's important. So this with when I call it an expert money making model or a high ticket program or whatever, it's really about doing this messy. It's sell it first, fail, learn, improve, and repeat. So a lot of people again build the thing and then they try to sell it. They're not even sure if there are buyers out there. So sell it first. You figure out what's broken, you learn from that process, you improve it, and then you repeat it. And it's a simple a lot of people call it launch it, iterate it, and evolve it, essentially. So it's get it out into the world, make it better, and consistently evolve it. Now, and this is the best part. Everybody thinks they need all the things when it comes to, selling something for a lot of money. It's like, what? I don't need a sales page? Don't need a sales page, y'all. You don't have to stress over fancy techie stuff. Don't need it. And all the branding, all that stuff, all the traditional things that people tell you you need, you don't need in order to do this, to have a money-making, profitable, high-ticket program. And the best part, you can do this in 30 days or less. I've had some of my students who already had a course literally take that same existing course that they were selling for low dollars and turn it into a profitable high ticket program simply by remessaging it, repositioning it, repricing it, and putting it back out into the world. So it can be done in a very, very short period of time. The expert money making model it's a messy version. So I said this before, do it messy. It's a messy version of your offer. It lets you understand exactly who you want to work with and their pain points. You'll find out what your person needs to go from that place of A or zero to being a hero. And you got to embrace the fact that it's not going to be perfect. It's not going to be perfect. In fact, that's part of the magic of it is you don't have to worry so much about making it perfect because it's going to be a work of art. It's going to be a work in progress, maybe is the best way of saying it. So you're going to begin where your ideal clients want to go, then reverse engineer the process. So if you can figure, and this is the part that is usually a struggle, a lot of people don't even understand where their person wants to get. So when they start laying out the process, they do it backwards. They're like, okay, well, all right, let me put my course together, or this is my idea, instead of focusing on what people will buy. Focus on what people will buy, prove it, and then reverse engineer how you're going to get them there. Okay. So let me give you a couple of examples. This is my example. A lot of my people want to go to a place. They want an automated money making. They want a high ticket program, and they want the money just to flow in through the door, right? Who doesn't want that? Yes, like if I don't have to do anything, well, it's not quite that easy. But no, seriously, they do want something that can make them a lot of money in the online space in an automated way. They would like to automate their income. They would like to have a consistent revenue stream. They would like to make an impact. At the end of the day, they want to make a difference for their person. And they do want to build an audience of people to serve and connect to. But they're at this place of A. They're at this place of maybe you call it zero. They're an expert, but they're not selling, or they're not selling consistently. They're stuck in some cases. They don't have an offer. They're not even selling anything again, because their offer is most likely not been perfected. They don't have what I call a no-brainer offer. And they're spending ads without any return, or they're chasing, and this is what happens a lot. A lot of people think that social media is the shiny bullet. It's like, oh, this is going to be answer to all my prayers. But they're chasing all the latest shiny tactics. And I say tactics instead of principles because that's what they are. And that is why I see so many people struggling today is chasing all the things instead of just building a platform that will enable them to do it all in a way that is authentic, genuine, and profitable. So what the money making process does, or high ticket program does for you guys, and I want you to think about this. If you think about it, if you start selling something before you even have it, in some cases, you have cash flow. It builds confidence that your thing is wanted, that somebody out there needs what you have. So it's like, yes, I've got this thing. Somebody purchased it, and now I can work to get client results. So you start to get, again, money coming in the door, your confidence is boosted, and then you can start getting client results. All without all the fancy things, all without a sales page, the high tech games that so many people play, all with just a simple transformation, a simple promise. Because you have people waiting on you. If you have been hiding your light under, I call it a bushel barrel, because of perfectionism, or because you're scared of tech, or fill in the blank, whatever it is, then you're doing your person a disservice. They're looking for you more specifically, and they're waiting on you to step up and help them. All right, the third thing that I want you to think about, because this is where it really gets fun, is building a sales machine that is evergreen, building a process so that all the people that are looking for you can find you, and are willing to pay for your knowledge versus all the latest things we're trying to do, posting on social media, challenges, whatever it is. I'm not saying some of those things don't work. That's not the point. But it's a constant hustle. You're constantly having to do these things instead of creating a process where you don't have to do all the things. You can just have one consistent strategy that's working for you over and over and over again because you did the work one time. Wouldn't that be amazing, right? So an evergreen sales process creates consistent and predictable revenue. And this is really important for most of us. Most of us want to get up on the first of every month and know that we have or have the ability to create 10,000 months or 20,000 months, $20,000 months, whatever, or, whatever our financial goal is. But if you wake up on the first of the month and you're like, I have no idea where my next client is coming from, then you need to really lean in because it's time to change that dynamic. The fascinating part is when you have an evergreen sales process in place, it allows you to take away or detach your time from the process of creating income. There's no better way of saying it. It allows you to increase your income, impact, and authority. No more hustle, but you get more time and financial freedom, which is why most of us start our business, and yet so many end up without that. You can scale without paying for ads, so you don't have to pay. You don't have to pay for clients. You can, of course, but wouldn't it be nice if you didn't have to? You can generate those dreamy client leads on autopilot. Yeah, on autopilot, y'all. And then create a repeatable system that generates results every time. That is worth its weight in gold. That's where we should be spending our time and energy, right? Um, so when you take somebody, your person, if you envision them at the zero place, right? I call it the A to B place, right? Where they're who and where they are now. And then you give them knowledge, a curriculum. I call it the 3 C's. Well, I should have put community there instead of support, but it's curriculum. So there's knowledge. There is a course of some sort. There's coaching where you have some weekly Q&A, support, community where they can connect with like-minded people so that they can get to where they want to be. So A to B with these 3 pieces, these 3 components in the in-between. That's where we are today, guys. People are tired of trying to do this stuff by themselves. They want the knowledge, which gives you an opportunity to create a high-ticket course so that the right people, dreamy buyers, not the people who say, I don't want to pay that for it. I call those, freebie seekers or low-cost buyers. You're wanting those people you're wanting people that are tired of chasing all of the low-ticket things. The people that buy high-ticket transformations have tried all the other stuff, y'all. They've tried, they've bought, they've done the download of the freebies, they've tried to figure it out on their own. They want a real transformation. So those are your dreamy buyers. And you get that customer transformation for them. You have, not only do you get like satisfied peeps, I call them, but you also get ambassadors. They are going to tell other people about you. Think about it. Like how many people that that sell courses can hold up on one hand, a ton of success stories, especially on the low side of the equation, meaning they've got, courses that they're selling for, $500. There's not a ton of people that can hold up a lot of success stories. So working hand in hand with your ideal person to get them the transformation, they are going to be over the moon excited about it, and they're going to tell other people. They're going to become your best ambassadors. And stop stressing so much over marketing. So most of the time, I think all of us probably can be considered guilty of this, is um, we're either stressing over it or we're not doing it. Sometimes a combination of the two. We're stressing over it because we're not doing it, or we're stressing over it because we don't know what to do. Fill in the blank. It's a stress point for us. It's a pain point. So release that a little bit and stop stressing over the marketing, because the reality is the marketing is not the answer. The fascinating part about this is that people are looking for solutions to their problem. They are searching, But most of the time, we're not uniquely positioned with content to attract them, to help tell them, hey, I can solve that problem. Because we're not there. They're searching for us and we are not there. So this is a golden opportunity for all of us, using what I call value-based organic content, authentic content that's going to attract your person. So stop trying to beat the algorithms, focus on organic traffic, because people are looking for you. They're going to the Google machine, or they're going to YouTube. They're going on social media. They're trying to solve their problem. They're asking questions, and quality content is king. It's you got to be relevant to them and provide that relevant content to them. The key to profitable content is you got to understand what problem or problems does your offer solve. And I would say problem, because when you get to a place where you're trying to solve multiple problems within one transformational statement, it gets messy, and is probably why you're not selling very much. So focus on the one problem that your offer solves. And then this is the important part. How, and most importantly, where are your peeps searching for your solution? Are they on the Google machine? Absolutely, they are. Every one of us as person is on the Google machine. But what happens when they land on your page? Do you, in 3 seconds or less, tell them how you can help them, or what problem you can solve for them? If not, then your messaging is off. It means you don't have a clear transformational statement. Are they on YouTube? Absolutely looking for you. Are they on social media? Absolutely they are. But are you there? And if you're not, why not? Let's change that dynamic, right? So here's the profit formula I call for creating that. I call it a content. Maybe some people call it a flywheel, but it's really about being intentional with your content and making your content profitable. So I'm going to give you the formula for it. One, you have to open the door with the hook. It's what I call it. You got to immediately let people know what's in it with your content. Feel like, whatever the pain point is, feel like, you're not going to look great in that bikini when you go on your cruise this summer. Here's how, here's how to solve that problem in 3 easy steps. Here's how to lose weight. Here's how to look great in that bikini in 30 days or less in 3 easy steps. Whatever that hook is, so that your person understands that you get them, you see them, you understand what their problem is. So that's the first thing. And this can be done through video, which I highly recommend. It can also be done on social media, just like in a text post. Then you have to educate and execute. So you got to provide a step-by-step instruction and some sort of an action plan. So whatever those 3 steps are, you got to educate them on those 3 steps, right? And tell them what's the best way to do that. And then I call it experience or agitate. Many of you have probably heard the kind of this formula for videos, which is a problem, agitate, solve formula. This is similar to that, where when you get to this place, when you're sharing your knowledge with people, or sharing a process, or you're hooking them with your content, if you will, you want to refer to your own experience in overcoming the problem. So, I get it. Like last year when I was getting ready to go on a cruise with my hubby, I was, it was COVID. I had COVID butt, whatever it is. And you go through the process. I, come up with this process. I lost 10 pounds in 30 days, and, I'm sharing that with you. So whatever it is, you talk about that. And then the fourth piece of this is to solve the problem for them. So this is just one of the ways I, or my client, depending on how you position it, you solve their problem, you offer them a solution, and then you tell them how they get it, provide that call to action. So this is the missing component for most people when they're creating content. They're creating content, but they're not telling people in a process. They don't have the 5 steps in place. Sometimes they leave out a piece, or they most often don't tell them how they continue down the road to working with them. This is a huge problem. So hopefully this will give you the 5 steps to take moving forward. And then I call this the Stalker Strategy because you want to be absolutely everywhere. You want to be found wherever your person is looking for you. Your content needs to pop up consistently over and over again. You want your ideal buyer. See, I got a boo-boo on my slide here. See, I'm pointing it out, but I'm not stressing over it. You want your ideal buyers to find you, not going out and hunting and pecking for them all the time. We're hustling way too hard to share our transformations with people. Content is a gift that keeps on giving, you guys. If you do it correctly, if you position it correctly, and more importantly, you give them a path to coming into a process that gives them a way to work with you, I'm just saying, game over. It is the way to stop the hustle, sell your knowledge for a high ticket price, and not have to do so with ad spend. Just saying. So is so I then that's why I have my design to scale program, which is it's a high ticket program. And a lot of times people are like, and I'm going to use this from two lanes. I want to approach this. I'm going to ask you, is my program worth it? But I want you to think about it in the light of, is your program that you can envision in your head, hopefully by now, because this will also be a pain point for you in the context of one, changing your mindset, and two, getting your person to say yes. But is a high ticket program worth it? Is it worth the investment? So my design to scale program is built around this high ticket program, high ticket course model, where you can create and sell and scale your knowledge for a high ticket price point without ad spend. So think about this. What is that for a four-figure investment in the big picture if it's going to produce a consistent 6 to 7 figure monthly profit model for you? So is it worth it? I would say yes. And I want you to think about that too in this context, because when you put your high ticket program together, this is one of the questions that you say to your person. If you can stay where you are, doing what you're doing, or would you rather be over here? So if you're here, you want to be there. Look at the outcome on the other side and what you get on the other side of that. And then a lot of times people say, well, is that going to work for me? It's the wrong question. One, I've already shared with you that there is a shift in the market. It's course correcting, which always happens. The market will course correct. And that's exactly what's happening right now. We're going from DIY courses to a hybrid model where we as educators have to come back into the classroom, if you will, work with our students so they actually get a result. So that we provide that environment that is conducive for them to learn and get the transformation. So don't even ask if it's going to work for you. That's the wrong question. It comes from a place of lack and negativity, and that's closing the door to new opportunity. Which is where we are. There's such a great opportunity right now to change out your vehicle, to get into a better model or a better way of generating revenue from your knowledge. Maybe that is a better way of saying it. The right question is, will you work for it? Will you reposition what you might have thought traditionally in your head as that's the solution? That's what everybody else is doing. I must do the same thing. Or if what you are doing isn't working, are you ready for a new way of doing things? Are you ready to create a environment where your students actually going to get a transformation and you're very clear on your transformation? What do you offer to your person? So if you're ready and you want to start selling high ticket courses or high ticket programs, let's talk. I've demonstrated some of the things I've talked to you guys about today through the course of the training. And this is no different. I'm getting to the end of, my 5 steps, and I'm giving you a call to action. Go to kimgross.com/game plan. And let's talk. It may be for you, it may not be, but it would be great to find out if you need a new vehicle. We all need new vehicles once in a while. And like I say, y'all, this is a shift. It's coming. It's not just coming, it is here. We as educators and experts need to understand that we need to step into a different way, potentially, of doing things. So I know. Thank you. I see so many great comments. Thank you for all the great comments, guys. Now, I know that we had a couple of questions I wanted to circle back to. Didn't ask. Let's see. I thought I saw a question or a couple of questions along the way. I tell you what, though, what I'll do after the show is over is I'll circle back and I'll make sure that I answer any of your questions. And if you get to thinking about this later and you're like, I wish I'd have thought and I'd asked him that question, feel free to send me a message on social. I love voice messages, so you can send me one on Instagram if you want, Kim Garst on Instagram. So it's instagram.com/Kim Garst. Send me a message and we will chat, okay? So I love this. So Chuck says, I recommend that you sign up for the call. Thank you. Definitely, I would love to talk to you guys about maybe this is a new way of doing business. It's certainly a more profitable way of doing business, and it is results driven and so much easier than probably most of what you're doing right now. All right. Well, guys, have a great rest of your day. Take care of yourselves. Stay safe, and I'll see you next Monday. Let me share with you real quick. We have Elise Darma coming next week. Elise came on the 100th market. Yeah, the 100th Marketing That Grows Your Business show, I think. She was amazing. She's an Instagram expert, so we're going to be talking with her next week. Again, don't forget to book that call, kimgarst.com/game plan call, if you would like to talk more about what I shared with you today. Okay? Take care of yourselves. Talk soon. See you next week. Oh, hang on. Before we do that, thank you, Vicki, for reminding us about the winners. So sorry. So Janelle is won the Embrace the Journey notebook, and Lisa Harris won the Social Bubble mug. All right, excellent. Congrats to our winners. Now, I'll see you next week. Okay, take care of yourselves. Stay safe. God bless.